Hello friends, welcome back. The rankings are out for Season 14. We are hanging in there at 93 in Platinum 3, about what we expected. Today we're taking on 7th Circle, alliance that finished Gold last season. So today we're taking in Void and Namor and Warlock, the trusty trio. Let's get right to it. Got a bit of a long path today, so first up we have a Taskmaster on long distance relationship and tyranny. This is a bit of an interesting fight. So I'm going in there with Namor for class advantage. I kind of expected him to get around the tyranny node with Imperious Rex, similar to the way that he gets around the Power Lock 1 node. And if you're not familiar with that, if you are not already power locked on the Power Lock 1 node, Imperious Rex will still take you over a bar of power, even though you can't gain any more after that massive power gain hits. However, Tyranny, it seems to be a passive power lock, so there's no chance of getting any power at all. The other thing that I really have to pay attention to in this fight is that Taskmaster becomes debuff immune pretty quickly, especially when Namor has a chance to bleed on each of his medium attacks. Between the bleeds and the parry stuns, I basically have to just remember to play stun immune almost right away, rather than try and parry and then see if he's actually stunned and go in and then risk getting parried myself. So basically playing this fight stun immune from the start. I fight Taskmaster, one of my first fights every day in AQ, so I'm pretty good at dodging the special one and punishing it. Special 2 is much easier, of course. Another interesting interaction with Namor on this node is you notice that Imperious Rex activated maybe 20-30 seconds ago, and it hasn't gone away yet. So this is because my understanding is that Imperious Rex should stop when you reach 0 power. However, I started at 0 power, so there's really no change in the power level. So Imperious Rex actually lasts the remainder of this fight. That doesn't really do anything for me because I don't have any power to launch specials. I can't get a Fury from my special 3, so it's basically just pointless and sitting there. Still trying to get out of this fight with a full yellow bar, healing up from the weakness debuffs on myself. I'm keeping an eye on the clock. I don't think I'm going to time out, of course, but I want to make sure that I have enough time to get my damage in, and there we go. So a bit of a longer fight, thanks to the Tyranny node, but finishing full AB with a yellow bar. Never anything to complain about. Alright, so next up we have a MODOK, also on long distance relationship, and this has the special lock 1 node. So my strategy here is basically I'm not even going to worry about the flux and the auto block. I'm just going to parry and heavy, except for right there. So what this does is he cannot auto block your heavy attacks from any champion, and with Void, this gives you some more time to place debuffs. That was a bit of a dangerous play there. I'm pretty sure he can auto block while stunned, so there's a chance that he can block the special attack, and then I would have wasted my debuff. So we've got 3 debuffs up now, so I think if I remember this correctly, I'm going to try and save up to a special 2 and then parry stun in there and launch the special 2. Since I can't get additional amounts of degen on him past 3 unique debuffs, looks like I'm keeping the... Oh, you know what? I said special 2, but there's power lock 1. So I guess I'm just trying to get Fear of the Void up instead. I've got my fights mixed up. Alright, so we've got all 6 debuffs up on him. Fear of the Void is there. So we got a nice little damage increase. You notice as soon as I take him over a bar of power, I'm immediately backing off. His special 1 is pretty easy to dodge as long as you have a good amount of distance from him. So keep your distance and then you can avoid it. It's 3 or 4 hits and down MODOK goes. So didn't lose very much health there, which is good because I will need Void later. So pretty happy with section 1 there. No mini-boss action today. Moving up to section 2, we have a Hyperion. Only a 455 on Recovery, Vigor, Indomitable. So I'm going to boost up here for the rest of this section. So it's 4 fights in total. So I am a little bit concerned in this fight. With Hyperion, you never know if you're going to get a cooperative AI profile, meaning, is he going to be okay throwing his specials, or am I basically just going to sit there and bait him out for what feels like forever until he launches his special 3? So I considered using a invulnerability boost just in case I had to tank a special 3 or 3. I decided against it, and I went with the advanced power boost to take a chance at getting an early petrify up. I did not get an early petrify. I got 2 of the whatever those are called, slow maybe. I think void has a different name for them, but actually I think in this fight the slow or the petrify debuffs are actually the ones I get last. So, and I was wrong there too. So there we go. We got 1 up. So his power gain is cut in half. His healing is cut in half too. Now we've got the second petrify up. And so he's completely heal blocked, but I'm kind of backed over to the left corner, so I basically have to hit into his block to create some space. He obliges with a special 2, and now we're kind of in business. So we can basically play this fight as normally. His power gain is completely over, so I can just give myself space when I need to, and then bait out his specials without having to worry about tanking a special 3. Get some extra degen with that special 2 there since he's being so helpful with his special attacks. He's going to throw this SP1, and there you go. Get some nice extra degen on him, and down he goes. So, could have been a bad fight. Had some decent luck getting the petrifies up in the middle, so could have been way worse. All right, now we have a Sparky on Recovery Buffet. Going to go in with Void. So could have taken this fight with Warlock. However, Void has debuffs that counter evade, and I was pretty wary about taking Warlock in against an evade champion. Our opponents are running dodge in this war as well, so he's got an extra chance to evade on top of his already innate abilities. And plus I needed Warlock later on in the war, and I knew I would need him. So there you go, 1 evade, a little bit of power gain. I was able to back off right away. We get the anti-evade, I guess I'm going to call them slow debuffs up right away. These are different. They're not really slow debuffs because they don't prevent unstoppable. They just prevent evade. So I'm not at all worried about the buffet because the degen will take care of it. Plus he's just going to be heal blocked anyway. We got Fear the Void up now. So you notice he's pretty much not evading at all anymore. I think I actually launch a special when he's not stunned too, and he doesn't, there we go, right there. So he doesn't auto-evade the special because his evade is basically turned off. I think the evade chance, I'm trying to remember what the debuff, per debuff the evade chance is reduced by, but with Fear of the Void and 2 of those up, evades are completely over, so Sparky has a low health pool, which also helps. Alright, next up we got an Iceman. Don't see him very much on my path. We're going to take in Warlock since he is immune to Cold Snap and Frostbite. And, pretty much that's all Iceman has going for him on defense is the damage at the start of the fight. So, other than that, I just have to be careful not to get hit with a special because the buffet node will be eating my armor up buff. You saw it happen right at the beginning of the fight. So this person is running willpower, so when I launch these specials and get the armor breaks and the weakness debuffs, you can see he's degenning and being power drained, which is helping me basically just, parry and hit into him and finish him off. So really, really easy fight. Helps when you're immune to Cold Snap, I guess. Alright, next up we have the debuff immune mini-boss on Section 1, Tier 2. I think I just double-checked the notes. So somebody went in here first with Ghost and didn't work out for him very well, so it falls on me. This person is actually running Recoil, which is weird. I don't typically like to use suicides in war. I feel like it weakens defenders. So you see every time he launches a special, he's going to lose 5%, which in a war is a big deal, because in war, especially in the mini boss nodes, these champions have much higher health pools than you would find normally. So 5% from a special attack is pretty big. So the only thing to worry about here is, don't try and punish blade specials. I think you can punish both of them if you work it correctly, but it's much easier just to bait out the heavy attack on this node. His heavy attack is pretty easily telegraphed. He has that pullback, and then you can dodge back twice. I probably could have gained a little bit health back from the special lock 1 node if I had held on to my specials, and I probably could have done so safely because the recoil is basically doing as much damage as I am to him. So, but I didn't, and yeah. Alrighty, so that was it for that night. Coming back this morning, talked a bit with a group about what to do on Boss Island, and I decided to go right to the Sunspot and then on to the Sinister mini. Going to boost up one more time. So Sunspot, not a really good defender. I wasn't sure. I am going to go in here with Warlock. He's not Incinerate immune, so I was a little concerned about taking a hit. If you take a hit with this node up, the counter tactics, I think like the Incinerate damage would be pretty intense. So I'm really trying to play aggressively. A couple backdraft intercepts in here. Other than that, just baiting out the heavy attacks. Trying to, his specials are real easy to dodge. You just back off, wait till he finishes his little flying kicks there, and hit it into his block to give him a little bit more power and create some space for yourself, and basically just rinse and repeat. Usually you find a champ like Corvus on this node because he will crit through your block when you're trying to bait out a heavy. Sunspot, he's a great champ for offense, but I don't really see why you would put him on defense at all. You can see we're less than a minute in, and he's pretty much down. And this is one of the final mini boss nodes, so this is not really what you want to see on your defense. I mean, I love to see it because it was a pretty easy fight. So, all right, he's not willing to throw his specials here, so I think I do push him to his special 2 here. Oh, I think I do at some point. Or maybe not. I should probably watch these videos more before I start recording. All right. You know what it was? I dueled a Sunspot before this just to see what it would be like, and in that fight I baited a special 2. So, all right, got Sunspot down, no problems. Didn't lose really any health. And on to the last fight of the war for me. This is a Mr. Sinister on Recovery Strike Back. Could have gone in with Void, decided to go in with Warlock. Only thing I had to remember in this fight is that if I'm going to use my special 2 and give him the armor breaks for the extra damage, I need to make sure that his power level is low enough that I don't accidentally push him to a special 3. The special 2 is okay. You're going to have to block most of it, whereas you can fully evade the special 1. So right there, that was a bit risky. He did power drain just before he launched his special, so it ended up being a special 1. Other than that, on this node, nothing's affecting his, his regen accuracy is increased, which means just more degen for me, more power draining. So right there, his power is really low. I can safely launch a special 2. It only takes him to a bar and a half. He throws that special, and then we're just rinsing and repeating here. There was a Havoc on the left side of Boss Island, and there was another guy in our battle group who brought a Warlock as well. So we had both sides covered. I could have taken either of them. So, and that is all she wrote. Sinister down, and pretty satisfying day of war for me personally. Yeah, so we did go on to win this war, and that is fantastic. So we'll move up a bit in the rankings, but almost as good is the fact that I didn't die and I didn't have to use a single potion this war, which I legitimately cannot remember the last time that happened, if ever. I don't think it's ever happened in a season before. So yeah, one of the best wars for me personally, I think, that I can recall. Um, so happy with that. Happy with the win for sure. All right, that's about it. This video's gone on long enough, so if you want to see some more war content, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know how your season's going. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.